Is it in the best interest of the WWE to turn Mr. Cult of Personality heel? We're gonna talk about it. CM Punk, is he better as a heel? And that's what we're here to talk about. CM Punk, I discovered on the internet surfing Ring of Honor because I was looking for something to satiate my love for ECW after it had gone bye-bye. Ring of Honor seemed to have swept up the same format and essentially the same idea, although they wanted to focus more on the respect of professional wrestling. And at that time, we were starved for it, okay? We were being subjected to the Katie Vicks and the Kiss My Ass Club, and here is Ring of Honor showing actual respect for professional wrestling and wrestling that was so fucking good. I was like, hell yeah, bring me more of that, please. And it just so happened that there were a lot of people left over from ECW that got swept into the brush. Raven is one of those guys. And following Raven as I did, seeing him in Ring of Honor was a little weird because here I'm discovering this company that's all about handshakes and technical wrestling and just this kind of like throwback to the yesteryears. And then Raven walks in. And who is he feuding with? He's feuding with this guy I had not been familiar with, but I noticed had wrestled Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr. in the same ring at the same time in a three-way dance for a company called IWA Mid-South. So I said there's got to be something to this guy if he was able to get in the ring with those two legends in between their tenures from WCW and going to the WWF. So then I'm seeing him feuding with Raven, and I'm like, this guy, there must be something to this guy. He's using the pedigree. And he's calling it the Pepsi Plunge. He's got a Pepsi tattoo on his arm, and he's apparently straight edge, and that's his whole gimmick. This guy is obviously CM Punk. And on my first episode of the promo portal that's available on my Patreon, I talk about the first promo that I had ever seen from CM Punk. Colt Cabana is with him, and he's cutting a promo on Raven, reminding him of his father. He had to take an old style in the shower. This was one of my favorite promos that I had downloaded at the time in the Daewoo desktop days of Rob the Wrestling Old Head, when I was really discovering tape trading and downloading professional wrestling. And CM Punk's promo just blew me away. And he just exuded this kind of smug, cocky type of like kid that it just seemed like it came natural to the guy. Fast forward a decade, and he's cutting a promo sitting crisscross applesauce on the top of the Raw stage as John Cena is sitting in the ring or laying in the ring, and he's cutting the infamous pipe bomb promo. CM Punk has always been a heel to me. I'm going to leave the glazing to Akoma Mikey. With all due respect, I love Akoma Mikey. He's one of my favorite guys, and he talks about CM Punk. He loves CM Punk, as do I. I love CM Punk, not as much as an Akoma Mikey, not as much as somebody else would love him. I love him for the reason that I love professional wrestling. It's entertaining. You can't take your eyes off the screen when he's in there with a microphone and when he's in there wrestling. He understands psychology. He understands telling a story. And when he's given an opportunity to tell a story, there is really none like CM Punk. But there is something that I like about him as a heel. I don't really get the face CM Punk. I understand his popularity. It's 2024, and I think I did a video where I talked about the heel in 2024. I understand what Cody Rhodes means by that. It's that they're being cheered because they're popular and because they're cool, but they're actually assholes, and they're heels. So it's not the same type of like heel face divide, and this has happened since Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up in the WWF and started rising to prominence. You had somebody like Bret Hart that was saying like, I'm being screwed by the WWF, I'm being screwed by McMahon, I'm being screwed by the sexy boy toy, and I'm being screwed everywhere I go. and we understood why he felt that way, but it got annoying. And then he started getting booed, and then he started talking about how Canada was better than the United States. And at the same time, you had this asshole named Stone Cold Steve Austin that was against the law, that he was against the corporate power and the idea of hierarchy, and he just seemed like this rebel without a cause with that had short jeans and drank beer all the time, and it was just this rebel that once he stunned Vince McMahon, that was it. But before that, fans were cheering him. Fans loved him, and they started to cheer him over Bret Hart. And I'll never forget, there was a WWF Raw where Bret Hart was talking about being screwed by the WWF, and Steve Austin got in the ring and he said, "Ever since I got here, you ain't done nothing but cry." And it was one of the best promos I had heard at that time, and I know it's hyperbole to say best, but the way that Austin said that when he got in the ring, it was like, yes, he's right. Bret Hart has been crying lately, and that's turning the fans against him. And you're telling the truth about that, and now we love you. We're endeared to you. So from the time I heard Steve Austin go, "Ever since you got here, you ain't done nothing but cry," that's when I was like, you know what? I'm a fan of Steve Austin. And in 2024, that's why the fans sway from one side of the pendulum to the other when it comes to the face and the heel. It's because if they're cool and they're saying cool shit, then they're going to cheer him even if they're an asshole. And that's what I feel about CM Punk. Now, CM Punk is making a lot of money with merchandise. He is doing great business for the WWE, and he hasn't really even had a singles match since his return. So he's great on that regard, and he's making money, and he's a face, and I get that. The fans love him. But I'm looking at his feud, the feud of the year, the one that I called the feud of the year in March of this year, by the way, with Drew McIntyre. And I must say, Drew is coming off more and more as a face, and it's because he's telling the truth. And CM Punk has been sticking his nose in Drew's business and costing him match after match after match. Now, I understand they tried to balance that out with Drew McIntyre attacking CM Punk on SmackDown and whatnot, but and taking his bracelet, that's got Larry the dog and his wife April on it, but it just doesn't hold the same weight, in my opinion. And if they're not careful, very similar to Steve Austin and Bret Hart, we're going to get a double turn. Fans are going to start to cheer Drew McIntyre, and they're going to start to boo CM Punk. And maybe that is by design. Maybe I am sniffing something that's in the air, that's cooking. Word to The Rock. Maybe I am being visible. Maybe I'm catching something that they're slowly putting out there into the universe, because I don't believe that the WWE does anything for no reason anymore. As I've said before, in the PLE era, the Paul Levesque era, everything has a purpose. So maybe what I am being privy to here is that the fact that they might be pushing that on us. Maybe the idea of Drew McIntyre becoming the odds-on favorite and CM Punk becoming more and more of a smug asshole, for lack of a better word, going into the next year works for CM Punk, because now you got CM Punk against Cody Rhodes, you got CM Punk against Seth Rollins, you got CM Punk against Drew McIntyre some more. You got a lot of options for CM Punk there. Kevin Owens, which they teased a little back and forth when CM Punk came back. There's a lot to work with CM Punk there as a heel. I know there's not a whole lot of faces right now in the WWE, and I know that Cody Rhodes is on SmackDown and CM Punk is on Raw, but you get this idea that they might be trying to, because I think CM Punk as a heel is ultimately the better plan here, and that's what I'm getting at. I love CM Punk. The CM Punk that I love is the CM Punk that they all hate. And I think that he's better when he's that way. Towards the turn of his tenure in the AEW, that's what you saw. You saw a little bit of that smug heel coming out, and I loved him for that. And he was getting booed. Everybody knew that he had this squabble with the Elite in the backstage area, and those that were akin to the Elite, that loved the Elite, they were the ones that were like saying F CM Punk during his matches and booing him when he would come out. And I think CM Punk was feeding off of that energy in a very, very real way, and it was working. Also, when he was feuding with MJF, in my opinion, my favorite feud in AEW was the MJF CM Punk feud. I felt like they were leading towards a double turn themselves, with MJF ultimately becoming a face and CM Punk becoming a heel. I think that would have worked, and so I think that would work with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk as well. I think you go that way with that program, and you ultimately turn CM Punk against the crowd, and then later he can get the adulation back. But you've got guys coming up. You've got the John Cena tour. You've got Cody Rhodes. You've got Sami Zayn. You've got Ilya Dragunov. You've got, I'm thinking off the top of my head here, I know that I'm missing something of a face there in the WWE on the Raw side. But you understand, there's Jey Uso. You've got Jey Uso, Mr. Main Event. You guys are screaming it, and I can hear every name that you're throwing out right now. Now I can hear it. You got LA Knight. You got Cody Rhodes. You got all these faces at the top of the card. You got Seth Rollins. So you got Sheamus. So turning CM Punk is not like they would like deplete their face side right now, and you get way more fresh matchups, and you get way more of an opportunity for CM Punk to have a lighter load. Being the sneaky, smug, veteran heel, you get an opportunity to freshen up his character. The fans might actually start cheering him even more as well, because like we said, in 2024, if you're a heel and you're cool, you're probably going to get cheered anyways. But I think if they lean into it a little more, you're going to get the best out of CM Punk, and you're going to get the best matchups for him on this journey in the WWE going forward. So that is my opinion. That's what I think they should do. And word to Akoma Mikey, man. I love that guy, dude. You guys need to go follow him, Akoma Mikey, on the YouTube channel. He's a big CM Punk fan, and he's got way more insight and knowledge about CM Punk than I do. Although I am a fan of CM Punk, I feel like he's better as a heel. So what do you guys think? Akoma Mikey, what do you think? Do you think he's better as a heel? Wrestling fans, do you think CM Punk is better as a heel? Do you think he needs to turn heel, or is he better as a face? Keep making that merchandise money, and Drew McIntyre's better as a heel anyways. What do you guys think? You guys let me know in the comments. Thumbs up on the way out, you guys. I did a video on Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive. It's free $99. It is free, absolutely free. It's a video where I talk about my favorite wrestling promos. That's the first episode. More to come potentially as we go down this road in the portal of pro wrestling. Let me know what you guys think of that, and check out, hit the notifications bell and the subscribe button. Those are all free, you guys, and stay updated for all the news and opinions of a 36-year pro wrestling fan in Rob the Wrestling Old Head. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to talk to you real soon, you guys. See you around. Take care.